Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now we officially welcome you to Temple Emanu-El on this beautiful Shabbat evening. It's a bit chilly out there, but that's why we're going to be nice and cozy inside here. So we continue now with the lighting of the Shabbat candles. I'd like to call upon the Matthias family in honor of Andres' bar mitzvah tomorrow morning. I'd like to invite up Elena, his big sister, and little brother Daniel, and his beloved parents, Alma and Jeremy.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lahadlik Ner Shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who halls us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kitshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lehadlik ner Shel Shabbat.
And now that we've welcomed Shabbat, I invite you to welcome the person next to you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Maybe introduce yourself to someone you don't know, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Maybe wave at someone you don't know.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, litzor yishenu, nikadma fanav betodah. Naria, naria, litzor yishenu, בזמירות נריע לו, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם. נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי, אורי. שיר דברי כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We continue now with our call to worship, our Baruch Hu. I invite you, if you're able to please rise either physically or in spirit. Please join me if you're able. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chokhma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, machalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, v'mishmerotem barakir kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom mevi layla, Umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzavaot shemo, Elachai v'kayam tamid imloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Together, praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Everlasting love, you've offered your people Israel and all humanity by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we'll meditate on your laws and your commandments. Rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to Adonai, who loves humanity and the people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. I invite us to take a deep breath in, exhaling out.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated as we continue with Ve'ahavta, led by our bar mitzvah of tomorrow morning, Andy Matthias.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. Liman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeeti etchem me'eret Mitzrayim, liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.
In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. Your turn.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
Well, I hope you do better in the next panel. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Go!
Inspired by...
Yes.
There they are. Time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Nice. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Yai lai, yai lai, lai, lai. Yai lai, 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 lai. Yai lai, yai lai, lai, lai. Yai lai, 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 lai. Micha mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha mocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot oseh felet nora tehilot oseh felet malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Elianu ve'amru Elianu ve'amru Adonai Yimloch
Yimloch
Leolam
Leolam
Va'ed Adonai Yimloch
Yimloch
Leolam Va'ed V'nemar Kifad Adonai et Yaakov Uge'alo mi'ad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael.
Just phlegm.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom V'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
Yeah, who will help me out?
Okay.
All right, I need everybody on this one.
Sing with Ken, everyone.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
I'll have Andy take over.
That's right. We now continue with the central portion of our worship with the tefillah. I invite you to please rise if you are able to, either physically or in spirit.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, Besocher Hasdei Avot ve'imot, Umevi Geula livnei v'nehem, Liman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Hoser u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechaye hakol atah rav lehoshia, mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofei cholim, umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha ba'al givurot umido melech melech meimit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua b'ne'eman ata lechachayot hakol Baruch ata Adonai mechaye hakol.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated.
Days pass and the years vanish. We walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. God of all ages, enable us through Sabbath rest to learn, impart, and uphold the commandments and teachings of the Torah. May we strive for the triumph of your will. Make our hearts ready to serve you. We thank you, Adonai, for Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. We join together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of people, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. So this week's Torah portion is Andres' favorite Torah portion of all time, of course. It's his Torah portion. It's Chayei Sarah. It's a good portion. It's a really good portion. It actually ends the cycle of the Abraham and Sarah narrative. And the title is Chayei Sarah, which means the life of Sarah. So how does it begin? By telling us Sarah died. At, I think, 127 years, she dies. And it's an interesting portion. A lot goes on, the whole Isaac narrative, Rebecca. But at the very end is something I just wanted us to focus on a little bit. At the very end is one of the most important moments in the entire book of Genesis, I think. One of the most important. And that is the two remaining sons of Abraham. That is Isaac and Ishmael, who was a son from Abraham and Hagar, come together to bury their dad after Abraham dies. They come together. The Jewish people and the Muslim people come together at the cave of Machpelah, which is now currently in what we would call the occupied territories or in Palestine, and Hebron. I've been there. You've been there, Cantor? Because in your generation, all of us start rabbinic school in Jerusalem, or Cantor school, or educator school in Jerusalem. But in Cantor's generation, they weren't allowed to go into the occupied territories. I was still, because I'm such an old man, I was allowed when I was in rabbinic school to go there because it was still, we had access in Hebron. and to go to the cave of Machpelah. And I have to tell you, when I was there at 16, anyone can go in at any time with no issue. As an adult, when I went back, there were times for Jews to go and times for Muslims to go. And now, no Jews are allowed to go there at all, unless you want to make it an issue. How sad. How far we've come away from our true selves. And our true selves is what we see in this portion, I think. As Isaac and Ishmael are grieving their dad, it doesn't matter what their differences are. Why can't we do that today? Why can't we put our differences aside and realize that in the end, when the person across from me has peace, that means I have peace too. It's in everyone's best interest. So I feel inspired by this week's portion. I feel inspired by that moment at the cave of Machpelah, that two religions can come together to do what's right. Two sibling religions. We're not even distant cousins. We're siblings, Muslims and Jews. We have so much in common. So let us take a few moments and just hope, lean in to that peaceful energy that we so need right now in our world. And it's interesting because we have a lot in common, especially with the prejudice in this country against both of us. That's something that we also experience a lot together. As we pause now in silent reflection.
Iu leratzon imre fi ve'gyon libi lefanecha Adonai tzuri Adonai
Focus our energies toward those who are ill and in need of healing. On this Shabbat, we think of Janet Agrovich, Sally Emerendez, Chana Bat Miriam, Bob Bell, Robert Berg, Barbara Berlant, Dr. Arnold Berliner, Sandy Beinstock, Carol Brindell, Barry Brown, Rich Burns, Melissa Champer, Chu Chi, Talia Sorowski, Deanna Courtwright, Carolyn Franklin, Holly Fugit, Marilyn Fuller, Marcia Gieser, Marina Gaffney, Charlene Griffin, Rosie Gurman, Jack Huff, Olivia Hand, Linda Harris, Dr. Gary Height, Jennifer Johnson, Mimi Jones, Arlene German, Sylvia Karp, Evelyn Katz-McCosker, Shirley Lerner, Carol Lesage, Letia Leos, Bobby Lotman, Emmett Lowry, Austin Lucero, Janice Lucero, Gerald Maddox, Missy Marsh, Stephen Marceri, Jax McElravy, Rich McCarthy, Neil McElwee, Beverly Meador, Vivian Cooper Moore, Gunther Myberg, Lawrence Neal, Barbara Wanamaker Neiman, Brad Parkins, Gabrielle Pollock, Heidi Preston, Sherry Prezant, Stephanie Rasmussen, Linda Rogers, Julius Rodriguez, Eva Rose, Shalia Rosenbaum, Devone Ross, Patricia A. Rosie, Daryl Sanchez, Laura Sanders, Malachi Sorensen, Victoria Schneider, Joanne Shank, Nina Shapiro, Sally Siegel, Manny Siegler, Shirley Silverman, Jonathan Stern, Donna Thyman, Gina Thrower, Kara Thayer, Steve Umecki, Teresa Walsh, Jeannie Watson, Nancy Weisenfeld, Eleanor Williams, Sue Witten, Sherman Wong, Yaakov Ben Ada, Brandon Yarkin, and everyone suffering with coronavirus. If you wish to add another name to our healing list, I invite you to raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We wish upon all those we mentioned and those who remain unnamed a refuah shlema, a speedy and complete recovery, as we now join together in Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We now continue with announcements. I'd like to invite forward the one and only Suzanne Boxer-Gassman. It's official, you're on the screen there. Announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Suzanne Boxer-Gassman, and I'd like to welcome you to our Erev Shabbat service led by Rabbi Magat and Cantor Shafritz. After services, join us for Kiddush and Hamotzi in the Temple House, followed by an oneg sponsored by David Goldberg in memory of his father, Robert and Alma, and Alma and Jeremy Matthias in honor of Andy's bar mitzvah tomorrow morning at 10:30. Mazel tov, Andy, and your entire family. This is relatively a quiet week due to Thanksgiving holiday. But on Tuesday at noon, join the rabbi's weekly chat on Zoom, and on Wednesday, his Lunch and Learn, also on Zoom at noon. After the lull of this week, the Hanukkah holiday season ramps up in earnest. On Tuesday, November 29th, in addition to being Giving Tuesday and a great opportunity to support our annual campaign, the next Intro to Judaism class will begin. If you or someone you know has been wanting to learn about Judaism, this is a great opportunity to learn with all of our area rabbis. On Wednesday, November 30th, in conjunction with JFS, we will be hosting a forum to respond to the refugee crisis around the world and help those who have arrived in our area achieve self-sufficiency. The event begins with a cheese and wine reception at 5:30, followed by the speaker forum and a Q&A at 6:30. On December 1, enjoy a Zigzag edible holiday gifts show on Zoom at 7 p.m. Sisterhood's Holiday Boutique is back. Enjoy the thrill of in-person shopping in the Temple House on December 4th from 10 to 2, And also tonight, the gift shop will be open during Oneg for your Judaic shopping needs. On Friday, December 16th, don't miss a rousing Hanukkah Rock Shabbat service preceded by our traditional appetizer reception. Another don't miss is our 10th anniversary edition of Latkes and Laughs, coming to you on the first night of Hanukkah, Sunday, December 18th at 5 p.m. Tickets are now available online. As we embark on this week of showing gratitude, let's not forget those in need. JFS Embrace a Family Drive is now in full swing. Just click on the QR code on the poster in the foyer or in the Temple House to see the selection of items being requested by those in need, and you can purchase them right on the spot. Next Friday, enjoy our Shabbat at Home service on Zoom, led by the Ritual Committee. Have a meaningful Thanksgiving and Shabbat Shalom.
And for those of us that have some challenges with Thanksgiving, there's another term I've been taught in my interfaith world, and that is thanks grieving, for those that actually grieve this time of the year, especially for those that are Native American or indigenous people. This is not a loving time for them, actually. So we think of all of our brothers and sisters who are having a hard time this moment in time. We continue with Elenu. I invite you to please rise if you are able to, either physically or in spirit. Thank you.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
It is our minhag, our custom at Temple Emanu-El, upon hearing the name of our loved one who's died recently or in years past, to stand as a sign of love and grief for that person, and to remain standing until the names on our yahrzeit list have been recited. Then together we'll all rise. On this Shabbat, we especially think of those that are grieving the Shiva, the first week of mourning for Thomas Parkins, beloved father of Megan Hendrickson. We also think of those that are grieving the Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning for Walter Jacobs, as well as those that are grieving the Shana, the first-year mourning for James Atlas, Michael Barco, Henry Barsky, David Berg, Richard Berriesi, Esther Burton, Curtis Cage, Dr. Ed Kahn, Ruth Kahn, Eldon Cherness, Rhoda Edwards, Mervyn Feinstein, Nessia Fistrom, Fritz Gottfeld, James Hayward, Gail Jacobs, Laura Jacobson, Steve Koss, Sylvia Lazarus, Bobby Lebo, Bernie Levine, Miriam Mickey Presant Looper, Rita Lauren, Emmanuel Marquis, Rochelle Marquis, Barry Miller, Harvey Offenhartz, Herman W. Poland, Gladys Popolo, Corinne Ravel-Retchen, Joe Russo, Arnold Schaffritz, William Shepard, Randy Shev, Norman Siegler, Dr. William Silen, Jerry Turchin, Leanne Wanamaker, Reuben Morgan, Rabbi Marty Wiener, Lucy Young, We also think of the following yard sites we observe on this Shabbat as we think of Molly Bloomfield, Denise Blue, George Brockman, Harold Kahn, Dr. Bernard Cohen, Arcady Elbert, Max Emanu-El, Louis Fisham, Samuel Freeling, Max Manny Frey, Sadie Gabrilowitz, Dorothy Galen, Jenny Dove Goldberg, Robert Goldberg, Stanley Green, Dorothy Halprin, Sarah Lee Halprin, Abraham Hasid, Leslie Henry, former president of our congregation, Bob Hirsch, Betty Hoffman, Joyce Jackman, Joel Strauss, Jacob Cadis, Sam Kazel, Monia Katz, Frederick E. Lehman, Vienna Newman, Alicia Papo, Sarah Papo, Joan Penner, Mildred Siegel, Hadassah Shafritz, Rose Silen, Sophie Simons, Craig Singer, Marty Skaggs, Murray Sobolov, Ben Sokolek, Martha Titleman, Bella Tresser, Frank Warner, Sylvia Watson, Saul Edward Weinstein, Cyril Weiss, Blanquez Wern. Zichronam livracha, may all the memories of our loved ones endure as a blessing as we now all rise to recite together the ancient words of our mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabba, ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malachutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon u'v'chay dechol be'Yisrael, b'agalav u'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'reichu. Le'alam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'miran be'elma v'imru amen. Yehi shlomo rabba mishamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'akol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. Please be seated. And the last paragraph of that mourner's Kaddish is one that reminds us of peace on this planet, and the goal for all of us is to reach that sense of peace as we conclude with Osei Shalom.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom
Shabbat Shalom. And look forward to seeing you in the temple house as we continue with Kiddush and Motzi. And feel free to join me if you want my office, or you can meet me for Kiddush and Motzi on the table. Okay, Andres? Cool. We'll see you all in the temple house in a few moments.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. That's our record. Do them together. There's some really great ones. Yeah. You can leave it there if you want, or you can take it after. Can I take it and I'll bring it back tomorrow? You can do whatever you want. Yeah, that's yours. That's yours. Yeah, that you don't need to leave with me. You gave me the thank you speech. That's fine. You want it now? Come on and get it. Yeah.